match just needed to be over fast.
Mono Black Devotion, Rabble Red. Tom Ross 5-1, lost last round actually, playing against Mono Green Devotion apparently. A deck I'm a big fan of. I know Todd Anderson is as well. But we are underway here in round number 7. Both these players sitting at 5-1. A loss will knock them out of top 8 contention.
And not a great matchup now. I think that matchup has actually gotten much worse for Red now that they have access to Nylea's Disciple Game 1 through Court of Calling. That's a significant change to the matchup.
Mutavault and passing the turn back. Will Miller to Ross. Ross is going to play, we think, we will see, a Mutavault, and now a Fire Drinker Crusader. Going to trigger the Foundry Denizen. I like Tom's play there so much. Plays the Mutavault so that he can sacrifice it to Devour Flesh. It's almost like he's done this before.
Crafty.
Yeah.
Don't mess around with the boss. He's seen all these lines.
In for 2 we go. Plays around Devour Flesh expertly because he has a backup Mutavault in his hand. You can see Tom saying he's got a Mock over there. Some other 1-drops as well. There's a Swamp from Michael Miller. Michael has Underworld connections. Not at its best in this particular matchup, of course. Just going to pass the turn back.
It's pretty close to uncastable. The red deck has to have a non-functional draw for that to be something you can do.
Ross's draw was a Mountain. Now here's Nash Zealot. Going to trigger Foundry Denizen. Now it's time to come in with the idiots.
And against Mono Black Devotion, it is all about mana efficiency and power to mana. The text boxes on your cards are close to irrelevant. Can you get out in front of their removal? Can you kill them before Grave Merchant comes down? Do you have enough gas to power through if they have Desecration Demon on turn 4? That's all these games are about.
There's an ultimate price. Takes down the Ash Zealot. 4 damage comes across. Miller's going to go down to 14. Now the big question, of course, is does Michael have a Desecration Demon this turn? It would be very good on this turn. Hero's Downfall was the draw. You see he's got Nurburg over there. That's a brand new one. All Miller can do is pass the turn back. Miller's done a nice job so far.
Though it's hard to win the game like this.
Yeah.
You know, because you're taking these chip shots along the way, and Ross is going to draw a lot of creatures over the course of the game. So you need to find something like Grey Merchant or Desecration Demon to really start pushing ahead. Michael also has Lifebane's on in his list, which is much worse in this matchup than Nightveil Spectre. 2 3s are pretty effective against Tom's deck.
They're great.
Yeah,
They're
2
great.
3s are really good.
Tom in the tank, he says, all right, let me attack with this. You have a removal spell? You do. So, Hero's Downfall is going to take care of that. Now Tom needs to deploy some threats. So, there's a Fire Drinker Crusader, just going to pass the turn back.
So why did Tom do that, you ask? Playing around Bioplate. Doesn't want to lose both his Fire Drinker Crusaders. And not willing to attack into the Mutavault with his Foundry Denizen. And Tom even has a Mock in his hand, but he doesn't want to get in a position where Mike activates Mutavault, blocks, and then uses a removal spell in the face of Maka plus Foundry Denizen.
It's like kind of insane how good Stoke the Flames is right now because Tom can actually cast it, even though it doesn't look like he can cast it, which is just like...
It's going to take a long time to get used to this. I'm telling you right now, if I was Michael, maybe I'm playing around Stoke the Flames right now, but I could also see not playing around it and then going, oh, right, that's a thing.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he just was like, all right, I'll play a Grey Merchant, gain 2 life, put a 2/4 into play, and Tom's like, all right, trigger on the stack, cast Stoke the Flames, kill your guy,
kill you,
gain nothing.
Untap, play a guy, animate Mutavault, hit you for, you know.
Yeah. Now he's just going to fire Stoke the Flames on the end of the turn. This card is great.
It is really powerful. I'm really excited about cutting Mizia Mortars from the main deck of all my red beatdown lists,
yeah,
I gotta say.
This card is so good. Miller goes down to 10.
Four's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Your opponent can only take 4 so many times before they're dead.
Yes!
Yes! Yes!
The hard cast Maka.
I brought this up that this comes up a fair bit against Black Devotion, and here it is.
It's going to trigger the Foundry Denizen. You are far too excited about a Hill Giant hitting play.
2 good deals.
Yeah. I think we're using good however we want to right now. That's good.
Well, against Black Devotion, the games go on for a long time. You need a lot of creatures to slog through Desecration Demon and all their removal. You're rarely in a spot to use a pump spell. So this is not uncommon. It comes up for me a fair bit.
Why does that thing have so many eyes?
I think it's supposed to be moving really fast through the forest. It's supposed to be moving in like super speed.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I think.
Every time I look at something that has a bunch of eyes, it makes my eyes like go weird. Like, if you ever just looked at 4C,
Yeah.
it just like makes my eyes go crazy.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be a play on words that has 4 eyes with 4C. And maybe that's also the case with the Maka, but I suspect it's just he's moving so fast through the jungle, surprising you with a pump spell.
Yeah, he's here. He's definitely here. There's a block. Let's see what this is going to be. That's going to be a Bioblade to take care of that. So Ross is going to lose both of his creatures, and Miller will lose his Mutavault. But if you're Michael, you have to be thrilled with how this game's going.
Oh, this is shoving up really nicely, and he's got another removal spell left over. You can see why Mutavault is so important against Black Devotion too, because it's just, you need, it doesn't even matter what they are, you just need stuff that can attack, because they have so much removal.
Now Miller's hand, he drew a Gray Merchant for the turn. He has Underworld Connections. I think this card is Sign in Blood. Now that one is tough.
Whew.
Now, if he draws a removal spell, it's not so bad. But right now, that's tough.
Yeah, I think that I would have played Connections that turn, because yes, you know, you go down to 5 and then 4 if you activate it, but it means you almost certainly get a Gray Merchant for 4 the next turn, and then you got something going.
Well, you can deploy this now, and Miller again is at 8 right now, I believe, from the Sign in Blood. So he deploys that, and then he can gain a bunch of life. Now, Ross is going to attack her. Does he have the 3 damage burn spell?
He does
play him out
not.
and pass the turn back. Okay, so he's going to go down to 3, but Gray Merchant's going to gain a bunch of life. So all Ross can do is just pass the turn back.
I don't know if Michael's debating using a removal spell, but you just got to cast
Yeah,
the
I think
Gray
we just have
Merchant
to
here.
cast it. And it's going to be for 4, so Miller's going to go up to 7. Ross is going to go down to 16. That 2/4 in the way now, too. Ross will draw a card. You see he's got a Mountain in his hand. Not sure what he picked up for this turn. Going to slide Mutavault back into hiding. Doesn't look like that wants to attack. Also a copy of Foundry Tree Denizen. That's not at its best right now.
I mean, if I'm Tom, I'm definitely sending an attack in with the Maka.
He's going to get in with both.
Whew.
I like it.
Yep. You know, it puts him to 4.
It could put him to 4.
But this is, I mean, Tom's got to be thrilled with this too. I don't think he had a pump spell, so.
No, his hand is Foundry Tree Denizen and Mountain.
Yeah.
That attack is great because if you put him down to 4, then Stoke the Flames is lethal. And then that's just fantastic. And also, I mean, Miller has to be terrified about activating Underworld Connections right now at 5.
Oh,
But
looks
what a
like
big draw. What a big draw. Another Gray Merchant right off the top.
that is rough.
That's going to gain him 6. It's going to drain Ross 6.
And now Michael has the buffer where he can afford to block and induce pump spells. Last turn he kind of had to protect his life total. Now he can say, all right, I'll put a Gray Merchant in front of your Foundry Tree Denizen. I'll put a Gray Merchant in front of your Mutavault. Show me what you got.
Yep. There can be some double blocks here or there
Yeah.
now. You know, he can get a lot more risky. He can actually, now he can activate Underworld Connections.
Yeah,
I think he's more than happy enough to do that.
He's got a lot to play with now.
Yeah. My love total is high enough. Why not? I can afford to cash in some life for some cards. Well, there's the Rabble Master. Yep, and I think we're going to get into the red zone now. Rabble Master's going to trigger, of course. Going to put a Goblin into play, and everybody's going to come in. And I like this play from Tom, too, because sitting back and doing nothing is not an option.
Yeah, not against an Underworld Connections.
Yeah. You got to do stuff.
It's not pretty, but
Is he going to lose some stuff? Absolutely. But you got to get some damage through. So there goes the Denizen. 3 damage, I believe, is going to come across. Miller's going to go down to 8. And hey, Rabble Master can work its way into this game.
it's going to be a lot. I mean, next turn is attacking for 4 or 5
Yep.
with no help. You know, just activating the Mutavault, the token trigger. That warrants a trade or a removal spell.
You saw Miller go down to 7 there from the Underworld Connections activation.
Mutavault's a huge draw here for Michael, too.
I think it was Mutavault Bioblight. I think those are the 2 cards. That's really, really good if it was.
I think Michael needs to kill this Rabble Rouser straight away. Nothing to be gained by allowing Tom to activate and make a token.
Yeah.
I suppose what he can do is allow the Goblin to come into play, trigger, and then when attackers get declared, Bioblight away the tokens, which shrinks the Rabble Rouser down to 3 attack which means that your Gray Merchant gets to eat it.
Yeah.
So you can kind of bluff him here a little bit. So we'll see what Tom can do here. Michael's got some options to get a little tricky here.
Yeah. Well, Tom is just going to take the same avenue as he did last turn, because I don't think he has much of a choice, which is fire at Mutavault. Put the Rabble Master's trigger on the stack. Just try to deal some damage. Here's a Bile Blight. See what this is going to target. It's going to go after the Rabble Master. Okay.
That could have been a lot worse for Tom.
Absolutely. Here's the thing for Tom, he doesn't have to attack. He's just going to pass the turn back. Will Miller activate the connections is the question. It looks like the answer is yes. This is going to go down to 6. Now this is dangerous because Tom's deck has reach, where sometimes Tom's deck did not have reach. He's got 4 Stoke the Flames and 3 copies of Lightning Strike.
Well, Michael also needs to get something going here. You know, it's a weird balancing act. He can't attack yet because the Maka holds off enough stuff. So he does need to find something to do.
And Miller does have bad draws in this situation. I think a lot of his draws are good, but, you know, he drew a Thoughtseize, for example. That's a bad one. But a lot of his draws are good.
Once he finds a removal spell for the Maka, he can start going on the offensive. And Tom's already taken a ton of damage from these Gray Merchant triggers. So he's in range.
You know, a card like Desecration Demon's great right now.
Oh, yeah.
Closes out the game very quickly. Pack Rat's good now, too. He just needs to probably find one of those cards. He has to pay life to do so, which is always very scary against a red deck.
But right now, Michael's got a pretty stable situation here. He has 3 blockers against 3 potential attackers.
One thing I love about watching Tom play this deck, win or lose, he always gives himself the best opportunity to win. None of his turns are ever draw pass.
Yeah.
You know, none of his turns are ever, I drew another land, go. He never leaks any info. If I'm Michael Miller, I got no idea what Tom's holding at this point.
I mean,
I'm hoping he's got a burn spell.
3 cards in hand right now, and Tom is giving nothing away with his language.
And he has 3 lands in his hand. I'm not sure if he has 4 or not. I know he has 3 for sure. But he gives nothing away. None of his turns are ever very quick. And just going to pass the turn back now. None of his turns are quick. Never leaks any info. See if maybe Michael outthinks himself here. Maybe he thinks it's okay to activate connections. He's not going to. See what he draws this turn. It's another Swamp. Miller playing that land is actually pretty important because now he can play Pack Rat and activate it twice. Stoke the Flames is the draw for Tom. So now if Miller decides, okay, maybe I want to activate this Underworld Connections, I'm no longer patient.
Or if Michael decides, there's 5 cards in his hand, I need to see what's going on, and Thought seizes him, he just dies. But
not going to activate Underworld Connections. His play has been consistent. You saw the draw there was Hero's Downfall.
Tom is just a statue. I mean, there's just no information.
Yeah, no info. Actual none.
And if Michael's not careful, he might get himself killed.
Pass the turn back. No reason for Tom to cast Stoke right now. It's so easy to assume, oh, my opponent's just flooding. Yeah. That's what's happening. And so he's just holding lands. And that's not the truth. Tom now holding a haste creature. He has Ash Zealot in his hand. Hero's Downfall is going to clear out the Maka. Now Michael might think he can start attacking, and we don't know if that's true or not. Michael draws a card. It's a copy of Gray Merchant. That's
might not matter now.
Yeah, I mean, that makes it obviously a lot easier for him, because now he gets to deploy this, and it's a gain and a drain of 8. And now Tom's going to cast Stoke. He's going to kill one of the Gray Merchants that can attack. So now it's going to be a gain and drain of 6, but Miller's going to go up to 12 now, and now he's got more life to play with that Underworld Connections.
And now also Michael's in a spot where he can just say, all right, attack, animate Mutavault, attack you. Let's see what's going on over there. He can force the action.
Yeah, especially with Ross at 4. He can get aggressive. Well, that's exactly what he's going to do. I know some people have moved away from Gray Merchant in their black deck. Andrew Tenjum, for example, not playing it this weekend. But, you know, the things that this card can provide for the deck, it's quite good.
Well, it does have some really, really solid matchups. This is one of them. The Black Devotion Mirror, it's a huge player. I don't like it in a lot of matchups. I think it's the most overrated card in the deck by a lot. But this is one of the matchups where it pulls its weight and then some.
Tom's going to tap some mana here. It's a Rabble.
The master of rabbling.
Indeed. Has to attack. Will there be a block? Pretty safe block, but it's so easy to say here from the booth. Michael going to take one. There's a Foundry Denizen. Pass the turn back. Down to 10 goes Michael Miller.
Tom did a really solid job of setting this game up, but that third grade merchant, I think, is going to be too much to handle.
I think so. Michael with a bunch of lands. Pack Rat. That's probably it. Gonna fire at Mutavault here. I mean, he does get to make these attacks, which are great, obviously.
Forces some sort of action from Tom.
Yeah, and the fact that the fact that Michael has Pack Rat in reserve makes things so great for him.
It's one of those spots where even if Tom has, you know, hypothetical card X, you're still probably fine.
Mm-hmm. There's a block, there's a block. Gotta leave the Rabble Master around since that thing can actually attack for a lot. And Ross can go down to 2. Sure, he could die to Sign in Blood right now, but that's a risk you gotta take.
Can't play around anything.
No. So some damage is dealt. Ross goes down to 2. Here's a Pack Rat post-combat. I think that's the one that closes the door on the game, as Miller is at 10. Gonna play a land. He's got plenty of those in his hand, so. Ross is gonna untap here. We'll take a draw. You see the Ash Zealot. I believe the card in his hand was a Maka that he just drew. It was actually a Legion Loyalist. Zealot. Loyalist. I still don't think that's enough to get it done.
Yeah, he can chump block the Rabble Master. He takes 2, 3, 4, 5, and then can win next turn.
Rabble Master does have Trample. Or it all Trample because of Legion Loyalist.
That's
Legion
true.
Loyalist is a Goblin. 2.
Oh, 1, 2, oh, wait, hold on.
What's happening here?
Well, the Pack Rat is a 3 toughness block if he makes 2 tokens.
He can only make 1.
No, he has 5 mana. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So he's only has 5.
2.
There's no way. Hold
So
on.
make a token. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. And then you trample over, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like 8 to me.
Yeah, I don't believe that Tom can steal this.
Yeah, it
Hold on.
looks like 8.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, this is
Okay, sure.
Okay, so that's how he's stacking. Okay, so that's telling, obviously. He doesn't think he can get it done with everybody, so some things are hanging on the bench here.
And now Michael has him on the way back.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, did he?
There's no way
Yeah.
that he stole this one.
Yeah, is there a way that he could actually steal this game? Yeah, so some damage is dealt. Yeah, now Michael's just going to draw his card. And Tom is just going to sit here patiently. There's a Hero's Downfall to even make it easier. So Hero's Downfall is going to kill Ash Zealot. Yeah, and Tom says, all right, you got me beat. But for a minute there,
Yeah.
for an extra minute, I was like, hold on a second.
No, yeah.
There's no way you can get yourself out of this one, right? And he almost did. But Michael Miller's going to win game number 1 here over Tom Ross. Mono Black Devotion up a game over Rabble Red.
The Rabble Master is very impressive.
Yeah, it looks
It's
really
a
good.
really impressive card.
Looks really, really good. He does have 4 copies of that in his main deck. He's also got 15 cards to work with in the sideboard. I'll let you take a look at those here.
Well, we got a Peak Eruption, 2 Magma Sprays, an Electrickery, a Titan Strength, a Dynacharge, a Legion Loyalist, 2 Skullcracks, 4 Eidolon of the Great Rebel, and 2 copies of Mizium Mortars. The only cards that really stand out to me in this matchup, and something I like here, is Eidolon of the Great Rebel. A lot of cheap removal in the Black Devotion deck, so it's almost a guarantee to do 2 extra points of damage over the course of the game. occasionally can do more than that. Besides that, I'm not really that big of a fan of the pump spells. I think Magma Spray there's a borderline case for fighting Pack Rat and Mutavault, and Skullcrack I never really liked in this matchup very much because I think the fight's ultimately over Gray Merchant less than Desecration Demon. So I don't like siding out creatures, but if Tom wants to get away from some of his pump effects, he's got 1 Titan Strength. The Makas aren't very good in this matchup. That's 4 cards that can come in for the 4 Eidolons. I don't think I really touch anything beyond that.
There are cards I always look for in the sideboard of Mono Black Devotion decks that are great against the red decks. We haven't seen them in a while.
There's 2 big ones.
Yep.
Freakish Cure.
Yep.
Drown Sorrow.
2 of each.
That's well prepared.
Michael Miller is very well prepared for this matchup. 2 of each of those cards. He also has 2 Erebos God of the Dead, a Liliana Vest, 4 Duress, 3 Doomblade, and then an Ultimate Price. So he has, you could say 8 cards to bring in here. Those 2 Cures, the 2 Drown Sorrows, 3 Doomblades, and Ultimate Price. Because the goal and the name of the game here is just don't die.
Yeah.
That's it.
All the removal is good. You can get rid of some of the deck's clunkier elements. You can get rid of, I think the worst cards in the matchup are Underworld Connections, Lifebane Zombie, and Thoughtseize in that order. So I would sideboard in that order.
That's pretty easy to do. 3 Connections gone, 4 Lifebane's gone. That's 7. You add a Thoughtseize, that's number 8. Does have to leave 3 in his deck. Thoughtseize can be problematic at times, but sometimes it's also just fine.
I think it's just fine in the matchup. Just trading resources, keeping your life total high, and then getting to Desecration Demon or Gray Merchant is a really good recipe in the matchup. Also, sometimes Thoughtseize is important in the post-board games because they have something that allows them to be Drown in Sorrow. Maybe they have a Boros Reckoner you randomly can't answer. Hammer Perforos is in red sideboards sometimes. That's really powerful against Drown in Sorrow and Freakish Cure. So I don't think Thoughtseize is the end of the world to leave in. I think Connections and Lifebane Zombie are really bad. Lifebane Zombie, especially so against a deck with Legion Loyalists, because you can't even trade with things. So those cards have to go first, I believe.
Well, while these 2 players do shuffle up really quickly, of course, we want to talk about the new change in schedule that we'll have with Star City Games as far as content is concerned. New content beginning on Monday will be published at 11 a.m. East Coast time.
That's all you need to know. I mean, there's just a slight change in the schedule. It used to go up at midnight. Unfortunately, that means if there's mistakes with images or copy or whatever, can't get fixed. It's lingering on the website incorrect for a while. So this way, Star City Games, you personally, a couple other people involved with the website, can respond immediately as issues arise. So there you go. Get ready. Starting on Monday, 11 a.m.
We want to make things better for you as viewers of our website. We don't want to have things overnight that are incorrect for you, so we want to be able to make that change. Nobody's perfect, obviously, even though we do strive to be. And when those mistakes do happen, you guys shouldn't have to look at them for 10 hours. You guys should have to look at them for maybe 10 seconds. So this allows us to make those changes quickly and efficiently. So this change is a new one, as I've been looking at Magic content at midnight for the better part of a decade. But change isn't always bad, and this one certainly makes sense. So hopefully you guys will get used to it pretty quickly.
It's one of those things where if you were to start a new website with no information, you had no background on how other websites operated, and you said, what time should the content go up? No one would say midnight. It's sort of this thing that's been grandfathered in over time. So it makes a lot of sense to adjust it to the time where people start usually looking at content on the web, and a time where Star City Games staff is available to, fix certain things as they come up or update information as it becomes relevant or pertinent.
11 a.m. starting August 4th, which is Monday. I don't know where this year has gone. Actually, I do. It's been in a lot of airplanes.
It has flown by.
I get it flown because we've been I see what you did.
That wasn't on purpose.
I see what you did. That was good. Look at you.
I'm really not that.
That was really good, man.
I try to avoid those kind of hackneyed verbal and literary techniques, so.
10 out of 10. Luis would be proud.
Yeah. I leave that to the LSVs and Brian Brondwins of the world.
The LSVs and the BBDs?
Yeah.
See,
CVMs.
Yeah. See, that rhymed, so that's why my joke was good? Forget it. Fire Train Crusader's going to start things off.
You know what? Forget it.
As we are underway here in game number 2. The boss also has a Ash Zealot, and Miller is down to 16 immediately. But as we did mention, and you can see the Drown in Sorrow, that's front and center in Miller's hand.
And a Freakish Cure.
It was the draw step.
This might be a really, really ugly game for Tom.
Yeah, he's going to cast the Cure right now. Is there another Cure in his hand?
Oh, yeah, and a Drown in Sorrow.
Ugh.
There's a lot riding on some hard cast Makas in this game, I'll tell you
yeah,
what.
You better believe it.
2 toughness is not getting it done.
No. No, no, no. Yeah, here is a Burning Tremors. Oh, boy. This is, boy, I kind of feel for him.
Yeah.
As all his things are going to die in a moment. Assuming that Michael has a third land.
When your opponent quickly picks up their pen to write down their light total and quickly untaps, that's Drown Sorrow time.
Yeah. Hey, all your stuff, it's dead.
Tom did not face this card at the Invitational.
No. Tom faced no resistance at the Invitational. That's why his run was so easy. The red deck doesn't stand up to hate very well. There's a lot of it out there. The thing is, people have to play it. And Michael Miller is playing it, and he has drawn it. That's the thing.
Tom's hand was about as good as it gets.
He would annihilate him in most games.
Yeah.
You know, if the hate cards aren't there, that draw would destroy most people.
Yep. Backup Rebel Master gives him some hope. If his removal is just all edict effects, then maybe, but...
Yeah, unfortunately it is not. It's a second for Ecoscure to get that off the table. And if you're Tom, what can you do, right?
Yeah, Michael Miller, you know, these are the kind of games where I don't get frustrated when I'm on the other side of this because I say, you know what? My opponent wanted to win this matchup.
Yeah.
This person came prepared, has all the right cards. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I don't even think, you can't even get upset in a situation like this. It's like, he didn't want to lose to me. He respects the red deck and doesn't want to lose this strategy. And again, Tom's draw is great this game.
And you know what? Tom's not out of this yet. Michael's hand is Lightbane Zombie, 2 Heroes, Downfalls, and a Gray Merchant. He's in one spell a turn territory for a while here, and all of his resources just trade with the stuff that Tom has on the table. It's not inconceivable for Tom to win this game. As insane as that is against 2 Freakish Curse and a Drown Sorrow, Tom still has a shot.
Let's see what Michael draws this turn. Didn't get a good look. It's a third Mutavault. It's not bad because Mutavault is so good.
No, that's great. He gets a Gray Merchant and then have a sea of blockers left over after the fact.
Yeah. I'm just going to pass the turn back. This could be, activate Mutavault and block. Cast Hero's Downfall. Ross is going to try. That's all I can do.
Yeah, it is crazy that Tom's still kind of hanging around in this game, given the spells that have been cast thus far.
There's Ash Zealot. He's got to keep trucking in there. Doesn't have a choice. Yeah, I'm probably walking face first into removal. What can I do?
And I think this is a spot where Michael needed to cast the Gray Merchant last turn, even though it's pretty anemic. I also wouldn't have mind just casting Lifebane Zombie, but he can't really block with the Mutavault that's in play because he needs to cast the Gray Merchant to get a sufficiently sized blocker into play.
Yeah, it forces it on his next turns to draw lands.
Yeah.
Because like this turn, I think it's going to be, all right, activate Mutavault, block whatever, Burning Tree Emissary or Rakdos Cackler, probably the Emissary because the Emissary is just better in this situation. So you block there and then you Hero's Downfall something.
I would block the Cackler if you have Doomblade in your deck.
Okay. Yep, that's fair.
That's fair. It's small stuff, but...
So there's the exchange of resources there. Now Miller's going to draw a card. See if he's able to find a land here. It's just a Hero's Downfall past the turn back. So again, we could see another turn where it's, at block with Mutavault. Yeah, and he's just going to keep attacking here.
And Tom's drawn a Fire Drinker Satyr. He has now another backup 2 power creature to add to the board.
So 2 damage is going to come across. Miller's going to go down to 10. There's Fire Drinker Satyr. All you can do is shrug your shoulders, keep casting his cards. Miller draws. He ever draws that 5th land. Yep, there's that. He's going to get, I got to imagine he's going to cast Gray Merchant this time.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I think this should have been cast several turns ago, but he's just, it doesn't even matter what the text box is. He just needs to cast a 2/4 this turn to free up his mana and to make blocking easier down the line.
Could have gained a little bit of life here. Now it's on time to draw Stoke the Flames right now. That's a mountain. That's not it. I don't think they're any good at, is it worth it just to keep attacking here?
No, Michael's too high.
Because he could play Legion Loyalist and then just say, all right, attack with everybody. He probably blocks the Fire Drinker Satyr. And then, you get through 4 points of damage, you put your opponent down to 8, and maybe you can run off multiple Stoke the Flames to get the job done. But I don't know if that's a winning strategy.
I think that, if you draw land number 4, you can send in the Fire Drinker Satyr and force some sort of action. But Michael's life total is just too high.
There's a Pack Rat. Pass the turn back with mana available to activate or those Mutavaults. Ross draws a Goblin Rabble Master for the turn.
And Michael's flush with removal at this stage.
Has another Hero's Downfall ready.
This is what I was mentioning earlier about the Gray Merchant. Once that card's in play, you've taken your deep breath, you've put it into play, now you have this 2/4. Everything becomes so much easier with the way that you use your mana in the subsequent turns.
Yeah, because now you can bob and weave and do everything, you know.
Yeah.
Just you have to use that one turn to tap out, and you're not going to die. Your Gray Merchant may die, but you're not going to die. There's your Hero's Downfall. Take care of the Rabble Master. Miller draws a card for the turn. Looks like his hand right now is 2 Lifebane Zombies and a Swamp. He's going to go attacking here. I like the aggressive play. I really think Michael Miller has navigated these games very well. You know, I think that this is a bad matchup for him, but he has drawn well and he's navigated the game well.
Yeah, the only real critique that I have is I would have just cast the Gray Merchant on turn 5. Just get it out of your hand. I think he's got a little hairy because of that, but otherwise he's demonstrated a really good strategic understanding of the matchup. And I like getting aggressive here. You know Tom's deck is full of all sorts of reach. Do not give him that much time. He can generate lethal really quickly with this Pack Rat, the Mutavaults he has in play.
Yeah, he can turn the corner so fast.
Yeah.
You have to imagine Miller's going to do something here, either activate Pack Rat or activate the Mutavault. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So, going to activate this here. Not sure if I'm in love with the tapping in this situation, because now you're just leaving up Mutavault, where you can leave up Swamp Mutavault instead.
Yeah, you aren't bluffing anything at that point.
Yeah. I mean, even though it's a light bluff and, you know, Miller doesn't have anything in his hand, he could at least make a bluff in that situation and cause Tom to have to think about some things. Now it's, okay, you have a Pack Rat, you could activate Mutavaults to make your Pack Rat larger or block with the Mutavault. So it's very clear what options he has available.
Yeah.
You add in, I can cast a removal spell into the mix, it changes the way Tom plays the turn.
Now, Tom has a Legion Loyalist in hand. That can take care of the Rat token that's back on defense. The question is, can he pass through the Mutavault that's on defense? Legion Loyalist is a odd duck against Mono Black. It has times of being awesome and times of just being total garbage.
It has some moments, and then it's bad. And this is one of the moments where it's not good, I don't think. But Ross has to send him in and hope for the best. Of course, that Pack Rat token cannot block because of Battalion on Legion Loyalist, both of them. Tokens can't block double time. I always like this little guy.
Legion Loyalist?
It's a cool card.
Not the most elegant of designs.
No?
No.
Why?
When you attack with this and 2 more other creatures you control get first strike and trample and cannot be blocked by token creatures until the end of the turn. It's not like something you wake up and you're taking a shower and you're like, oh, I have an idea for a Magic card. It's not really that sort of thing.
Okay.
It is kind of neat. it is charming. It's a charming design.
Do you think about cards in the shower?
All the time, yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
do that, actually.
Well, you probably think about editing articles in the shower or whatever it is that you do.
I think about basketball contracts.
Generating content.
Yes. Think about basketball contracts in the shower and how most of them are bad.
So, I mean, this is another shields down moment. Can Michael pull the trigger on attacking here?
Yeah, I mean, Tom, I think pretty much, I mean, is he just dead from the attacks?
Well, if he attacks, makes a rat and animates both Mutavaults, or I guess attacking with the Mutavault's kind of the same thing.
Doesn't even do that, right? Like he just goes activate Mutavault. The rats are 4s. That's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Gray Merchant is 13 and 14. So if he sees the onboard kill, I'm pretty sure that Tom is dead.
Depends if Tom's any cards in his hand too, because if it's, if Tom has shock in his hand,
sure,
and then it's.
I'm fairly sure Tom is cardless here.
Yeah. In which case,
it's on Michael to see the kill.
Yeah, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is exact sees.
But I don't know if he sees it.
So does this get us there if he animates and makes a rat?
4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You need the Mutavault to attack. You need the Mutavault to attack.
Tom just does not quit.
No, Tom's he has no cards in the hand, taking a drink of water. just patiently waiting. Look, I'm dead, but you have to kill me.
You got to see it.
Yeah, it's they just what?
Now, can he run off some Stoke
Yeah,
the
I
Flames?
was thinking the same thing. If he runs off Stoke the Flames and Lightning Strike, are you kidding me?
The boss.
All right, he passes.
Two Farikis Cures, a Drown in Sorrow, a Gray Merchant,
If you're wondering,
multiple Mutavaults.
if you're wondering why Reed Duke and many other players never concede, yeah, Tom is super dead, but Michael didn't see that he was super dead. So there's never any reason to concede. Make your opponent kill you.
You want this match slip, you got to pry it out of my cold, dead hand.
Yeah, make them kill you.
Nothing's being handed.
Literally dead on board. If he runners burn spells, it's like winning the lottery. Yeah, here comes everybody now.
So these rats can be. So if the Gray Merchant can come through. Can you get away with just blocking 2 rats? You have to block at least 1, certainly.
You have to block 1.
2 rats getting across is 2. There's 6. Yeah, he's got to block 2 rats.
So here's the issue. He ends up taking damage from Fire Drinker Satyr. Fire Drinker Satyr deals the damage. So Tom is basically saying, do you see the kill? So this is mighty interesting. Because if he blocks the Fire Drinker Satyr, he takes the damage anyway.
Yeah,
So there's no reason to block
It doesn't save anything.
Yeah, so it doesn't save anything. So the rats are going to be 6s, I believe. Yeah, they're one. Yep, they're going to be 6s. Yeah, that does it. That does it. And Tom is basically like, you didn't see the kill last turn. Maybe you won't see it this turn?
Give it his best shot.
Yeah.
Unfortunate tournament for Ross, 5-0-0-2. Just could not handle the bevy of awesome sideboard cards Michael Miller brought to the table there, game 2.